Um, well, 2.5 years ago, I had reached my highest weight. I was uncomfortable. My knees were bothering me. My stomach was a mess. I had heartburn every day. My blood pressure was not quite to medication level, but it was certainly higher than the doctor wanted to see it. I had sleep apnea. I had been recently put on a CPAP machine. Uh, I felt miserable. We went camping. I couldn't hike with all my friends. I sat at the campsite and I looked after the dogs and hated myself all day for it. I needed to change. I needed to change. This was not the life I wanted for myself. And we've always been active and I wanted to stay active. And that was not happening with my current state of health. That week was certainly, I decided that had to change. But then a few weeks later, my mom came to visit for the weekend, and her health is pretty terrible. And she arrived with her tons of medications and out of breath, doing absolutely nothing. And when she left, I broke down. I cried to my husband. I said, I have got to fix this. I have got to find a sustainable way to improve my health, because that's my future. That my future just walked out the door, and that's not happening. I can't do that. I lost weight. I lost 90 pounds. What was that? About 13, 14 years ago. But I didn't do it in a sustainable way. I was under eating. I was over exercising. And of course, it all fell apart because I was under eating and over exercising. And there's only so long you can sustain that before you just crash and burn. And that's exactly what happened. And then over that course of time and some tough teenage mental health issues and some, COVID, lots of emotional eating, and it just got out of control. And I was not happy with the way things were headed if I didn't make a change and make it sustainable, because I don't want that for my life. I want to be around for my family, for my kids, for myself. I want to do stuff in my retirement. We hike, we camp, we cottage, we do all the things. I love all that outdoor stuff. I wanted to be able to do that and not be sitting at the campsite looking after the dogs. I started just right back to basics. I started with movement. I knew I needed to obviously do more at some point, but just getting steps up. At that point, if I was getting maybe 1,500 steps a day, I'd probably be lucky. I work at a computer all day, so if I don't make an effort to actually get up off my butt and go for a walk, then I don't get much movement. So I just started with, I could do a 20-minute walk at that point. So that's where I started. I could do a 20-minute walk. I just wasn't doing it consistently. So I started doing a 20-minute lunch walk. And then after a few weeks, I started doing a second walk. Just start drinking more water, less of other things that I probably shouldn't be drinking, drink more water. And then gradually started just building, just habit stacking, just adding in more things that I knew were healthier habits, but I didn't have a good concept of exactly like what I should be eating, how much protein really should I be getting. So I started following some. There was a gym that opened close to me, so I joined that. I got a foundation membership because it was brand new. It was opening, and I had a friend who went to another site, so I joined that gym. She had great things to say about the community, about what it had done for her. So I thought, okay, all right, I'm going to do that. And with their program came an app, and it'll tell you how many calories you should eat, but it didn't tell me anything more than that. It was just gave me, it actually gave me a pretty good calorie count, pretty decent. It's almost what I'm following now in terms of calories, but it didn't give me like how much protein should that actually be, how much protein should I have in that, um, how much fat, how much carbs should I really be eating. It just had a menu plan of, ugh, there's only so much pureed pumpkin one can eat. Um, and if there's one thing I've learned about myself through, you know, over 40 years of up and down various diets, I have to eat food I enjoy. I can't follow what somebody else tells me to eat because I might not like it. I like lots of flavor. So that's what I do. I add a lot of flavor to my food. There's buffalo sauce because it's got like almost no calories in it. I've got seasonings. I have to add flavor to my food. I have to enjoy and look forward to my meals. If I'm just eating blah, I don't want to eat it. Yuck. And that's what this app was giving me, was just food that I wasn't interested in eating. I had a kind of an idea of calories, but so went back to my fitness pal, and then started following some people on Instagram. Some people that I like what they had to say. Um, like Charmaine, I found Jared Hamilton, and that's actually where I think I ended up finding you as well. It's funny, but yeah, that's is a I like a lot of what Jared, fixing you gotta fix the mindset, and that really kind of hit home with me. So I listened to lots of his podcasts, and I listened to a few others that were very, common sense, very, you can don't cut things out, not restricting, because I've been down the restricting and then binging first into the pantry. In fact, white knuckle through the day, dive into the pantry. I convinced myself I had an eating disorder at one point. I thought I thought I had a binge eating disorder. Turns out I just actually wasn't eating enough through the day, and then overeating while I was trying to make supper, and then eating supper. So eating thousands of calories probably between the hours of 4 and 6, but not a whole lot through the day. I am exponentially stronger than I used to be. Like I said, my knees were sore, my back was sore. I was in a lot of pain. And gradually I had to modify a lot because I couldn't do some of the exercises that we were supposed to be doing. But that's okay. I modified, and I just kept moving. I started lifting weights, have improved my cardio, but I've also built muscle. I've lost lots of body fat. I'm down like 95 pounds now. So, and now I'm working. My goal over the next 6 months is working on the cardio endurance, um, and and the leg work that's going to be required to do the Inca Trail. 4 days, doing the Inca Trail. So yeah, I decided that this year I wanted to set a big physical goal for myself. I've wanted to do it for a long time, and unfortunately, over the last several months, there's been a number of people in our life who are all roughly the same age as us, been diagnosed with cancer. And that really hit home. That was like, this is why I'm doing this, because I don't, I mean, none of us can really tell, but I certainly wasn't helping myself in my former state of health. So I wanted to get healthier to try and avoid things like heart disease and cancer. So I'm strong now. I'm healthy now. So I want to do it now. Right now, maintenance, because that is the part that I've really never been awfully good at. It's I've managed to lose weight several times in different amounts, and then the wheels fall off and it just comes back, because I wasn't doing it in a sustainable way. So now I need to learn to live in maintenance. So my goal right now is I've been tracking, and I've been tracking pretty strictly, for almost 2 years. So now I want to try and loosen the reins of tracking and more, eyeballing portions. And yeah, I'm going to have to go back to tracking at some points just to check in and make sure I'm still on the right track. And if the scale starts to wander up a little bit, I now know how to jump back on that and get it back under control without having a complete and utter rebound. I've learned those skills, so that's, I think, gonna be key for me, is to just keep checking in with my body weight, but also, with the food scale too, because we can all, our eyes get a little bigger as we go, and the portions, you think you're on track, and the next thing you know, you're there's being a little more generous than maybe you should be. So checking in with the food scale too, again. But I just want to feel a little bit more comfortable with loosening the reins of weighing my food all the time, and just be feeling a little bit more comfortable that I do know what I'm doing and can do this without such strict adherence to weighing everything all the time. Pick the lowest hanging fruit and start there. What what do you feel like you can do every day that you can commit to doing and doing consistently? Start there and then build from there. But like, it takes time, but do something every day that moves you forward, moves you closer to your goals. You don't have to change everything overnight, because trying to do that, it gets overwhelming. But pick one thing. Start there. In a few weeks, when that becomes more comfortable and familiar and consistent, add something else and just keep adding. Add to those habits, stack them up, and you'll see change. You're worth it. Keep working at it.